All right, so I've got my Sheep Creek here. I carried this knife quite a bit a couple months ago and failed to sharpen it, and it's now an absolute butter knife. We can't get any type of cutting out of it, so we're going to take and run this across the Work Sharp Ken Onion Elite electric sharpener with the blade grinding attachment. I really like this setup. I put all my knives at 20 degrees right there. Kitchen knives, outdoor knives, EDC. I find it to be a good happy medium. So let's just see how quick we can do this. We're going to start with the coarse belt because my extra coarse belt is pretty well wore out and doesn't have much grit left on it. I've got to wait on a new one to come in, but the coarse will do what we need. We've got coarse, medium, fine, and extra fine. So let's see what we got. Shouldn't take too awfully long. Set your knife on here. Put the face of it on your table, pick it up, consistent angle. Work Sharp recommends 1 inch per second travel across this. Now I did try sharpening this on my precision adjust, and while it would have worked, I honestly lost patience. This is the heat treat on this 154 seems to be pretty exceptional and a pretty hard and heat treat. It takes quite a bit to be able to get a burr worked up. We're not even touching the surface yet on it. We're just gonna keep making passes here until we finally get a burr worked up on it. Doesn't take a whole lot of pressure. Basically just enough pressure for the blade to be on there and to not let it bounce. And I'm just going to keep going across like this until I see a burr raise up on the side facing up. Still good and flat on there. Alright, so I didn't see the burr appear. Normally you can see the burr appear across the edge there. You might be able to see it in the sun. On here, I might be able to crop it for you to be able to see that. But there is a good burr the whole distance, and now we'll flip it over. To the other side. That's the big thing with this system, is making sure you keep that 20-degree angle when you pick it up off of your table and move it up to your belt. It does take practice, and I don't necessarily recommend doing it on your high-end knives right off. Alright, so we've pushed the burr over. We'll go ahead and switch. I don't spend a lot of time on it. Once I get the burr formed and I can push it from side to side, we're going. Put your belt on there, track it so it runs center of your rollers, and let's start our next pass. Generally, it's about 2 passes to really get the burr pushed over. And it is recommended that you stop, to keep from damaging your tip, stop with the tip in the center of the belt. There we go. I can see the burr. I can feel the burr. So we pushed it over. Let's go ahead and go to our fine side. Now, as you get down finer in the belts, the less you'll feel the burr, which is what you want to do. You want to work the burr out as you go, and you end up with a good clean edge on it. You don't want a toothy edge on it. You can look down it too, down the edge. If you see, it always helps to wipe it off as well. That way you don't have any dirt on it. But if you look down the edge and you see any flat spots, sorry, if you see any shiny spots in the edge, it's usually a flat spot, so it needs some more attention. This is good and consistent though. I don't see anything in it. It feels real good. So just for curiosity's sake, so as you can see, we've not even hit the extra fine yet, we're already shaving. But just to top it off, we are going to go ahead, throw this extra fine belt on there and polish it up. Tracker belt again. There we go. Now on this pass, I like to just lay the belt on there, not much pressure at all, real light. I use my index finger here to just stabilize the blade to keep it from bouncing. And we're just going to go back and forth. I do have stropping belts for this, but I very rarely use them because I've not seen enough improvement in my day-to-day EDC to justify the extra time. This one, probably use it because I can still feel a little bit of toothiness to it. So we'll probably go ahead and throw them on there just because we can. Show you all the full steps of it. But as you can see, there's no issue at all with the sharpness of that blade right now. But we'll go ahead and get these stropping belts out. Now I have noticed with these that at this seam, if you're not careful, you don't want this lip to run against the edge of the blade. You want the blade, the cutting edge, to go this way on it. You want it to run this way and not this way. I didn't see that specifically in the instructions. It does have a long instruction sheet there as to what to look for, but I did not see that in there. But I found out real quick, if you're not careful, you'll cut your stropping belt. And it says to use it at a medium to high speed. Put a stropping compound on here. Again, a little bit of compound on here. I find this works a really good way to get it in, and then really light pressure. Does not take much at all. That edge is feeling really good now. I don't feel as much toothiness to it. Now I'll go ahead and put a red on. So you start with the green and you go with the red. put a red on there, look for our lip. Make sure it's facing the correct way. Now what I have seen with these stropping belts, if you're not careful and you overdo it, I have actually ended up going from being able to shave paper to just curling it and having to step back to the fine and extra fine belts to work it back out. So I really do suggest the extra fine light touches against the belt like they recommend. Now that edge feels good. I don't feel a whole lot of teethy to it. You can see there we got pretty well a good mirrored finish. Let's see how our cutting performance is. Wind's blowing the paper. See, there we go. A little bit hard to do with the wind blowing it as much as it is, but we got a good edge. But as you can see, stropping it didn't make a huge difference from just running the extra fine. So that's why I typically just stop at the extra fine, but it is nice to have. So there we go. Top Sheep Creek from butter knife to razor blade on the Ken Onion work sharp Ken Onion with the blade grinding attachment. Thanks guys.